All right, so today we're going to take a look at my AMC prediction, and the question is it time to buy or sell? And we're going to do a quick stock evaluation on this. Now, keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade any stocks without your own personal financial advisor. So as we take a look at this chart here and just look at the longer term perspective, there's a few questions that you need to kind of ask yourself, and we're going to run through these as we evaluate this. Now, AMC, I'm sure you've probably heard, it's definitely had a lot of short squeezing that's happened here. So this stock was pretty much dead for a little while, then it pulled back, and then again we had this sideways price consolidation and then this big move up. Now typically when you're looking at a chart like this, and we're looking at a weekly time frame, you have here's kind of your bottom and your support level, which is, you know, right there around the $2-3 range. What you have is these pennant patterns. So you have kind of this move up, pennant, and then next leg move up. So this is your A to B, B to C, C to D pattern. And then what you would expect to happen is, again, the next segment is to create kind of that next leg, A to B, B to C, C to D pattern. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. We didn't kind of push through. So the stock is breaking down and the pattern is weakening. And that could be a lot of the other overhead issues, supplies, and people getting in late. So as we look kind of more into the daily perspective into this pattern, and you'll see this past one right here did work out because we had a lot of the volume here coming in. And when we look at this recent one right here, as we take a look, here's the pattern. That breakdown right there happened, and that came in as you start zooming in a little bit more on the volume side. The breakdown came in and the volume started to pick up. Now it's not anything heavy, but it is starting to pick up some speed. Some people are going to call this a crash. It's not really necessarily a crash, but it's definitely a healthy normal pullback. So as you look at this pattern, it's a short-term ABCD pattern that is expected to kind of play out because it's just human psychology and nature. The people who are doing some short-term trading are probably going to kind of pull out of this one. And what you could say is a typical healthy pullback for this stock would be right around this level. So this is kind of the highs of the past right there. There's the breakout at that point. So it could come back and test that, and we'll see if that will play out. So when you look at this, that's about a $14.75, $14.90, $15 price level. So now the question you have to ask yourself is, okay, can I sustain a $15 price level? So for example, how long are you planning to hold this stock for? The question is, are you in it or are you not in it? So if you're planning to hold it for a long time, it may be fine at this level. It may be fine at a lower level. But it depends on your length of duration. Are you a long-term investor? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader? If you're holding it for the day, obviously this stock is in a downward move for now. So anytime you're looking for kind of a daily move, a 2-day hold for the short term, it's on a downward trend. Okay, if we're looking more on a as far as a plan goes, this is now where you start taking things a little more into account. If I'm a long-term investor, how might I approach this? Well, as a long-term investor, you might say, okay, well, let me start nibbling a little bit here. Let me start nibbling a little bit down here if it gets here. And then if it breaks below that, what am I going to do? Am I going to nibble a little more at $5? So again, it could be something where you're starting to dollar cost average some of these things, because as a long-term investor, and I'm saying long between 1 to 5 years, you might say, hey, this is fine at these levels. I'll start nibbling a little bit because I believe in the stock, I believe in the company and that kind of thing. And but if you're a short-term trader, right, the trend is downward and you have to watch that we could still go down, but you got the snap up possibilities right there as well. So anyway, so what's kind of your plan? Now, from a day trading perspective, you got to kind of look at it from a day-to-day basis. And now I'm looking at maybe these time frames where, okay, I'm looking at a 65-minute, there's my pattern break, move to the upside, break. Can we get a little bit more bounce over the 25 and then it starts going this way? Yeah, absolutely. So from that perspective, I'm just looking at kind of what's in the trading range. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of support here at these levels at 20, 15, until you get to that 15 level for kind of day trading. You're kind of looking at the momentum and the energy. All right, and then what are you going to do if it goes against you? So whether you're a day trader, swing trader, long-term investor, what if it goes against you? What will you do? So overall, from a short-term perspective, this stock is heading lower, okay? From a longer term perspective, though, the volume is still not fully there for a massive crash or sell-off. If you're looking for a critical support level, 15 is kind of what you're watching for. In theory, this stock could have went higher from the looks of the ABCD pattern and the pennant situation. But overall, it didn't happen, so it's coming back to retest some of these lower levels. And if you look at the weekly time frame, you're trying to hold the support at around that 89 moving average for the time being, and we'll see if it breaks. Otherwise, key level to watch, I'd say, is about the 15. So anyways, that's my thoughts and that's my insight on the AMC stock, at least for the time being, and where it's heading here in December. And as far as buy, hold, or sell it, it really comes down to your personal investment perspective, the duration of that investment. From a shorter term perspective, the chart, the stock, it's actually very weak. From a longer term perspective, that's kind of anybody's guess, determination based on what long term means to you. Is it a 6-month hold? Is it a 1 year? Is it a 5 year? But you could start kind of nibbling at those levels that I discussed if you're interested in those kinds of value buying opportunities. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and I will see you next time.